We have a problem, Batman. Gotham needs you again.
Most men walk into this room calculating what they'll give, what they'll hide. You sat down as if nothing in this building could challenge your sense of self. That's not confidence. That's certainty. Something more rare, more dangerous. So I'm curious, what does a man who...
A man who is right does not answer questions. He corrects Rebs the ones asking them. But I'll humor you, not for sport, not for confession. What your kind operates in shadows and disguise, mine shapes truth into form. This room offers nothing I haven't already mastered. Walls, locks, men with intentions. What? Yet I'll engage you. Not out of obligation, but to witness the limits of your inquiry. You're not here to understand me. You're here to verify that I remain beyond your reach.
Control seems to be your native language. Every word you use is a declaration, a claim of possession. But beneath that iron certainty, there must be something else. Not doubt, perhaps, but friction. Tension between the idea of yourself and the reality that others refuse to see you as inevitable. Doesn't that discrepancy gnaw at you?
Recognition is a delayed form of obedience. The world will arrive at truth in its own stumbling time. Whether they kneel willingly or in the ruins of their resistance is irrelevant. What? I do not require consensus to function. I do not bleed for the approval of insects. What gnaws at me is inefficiency, wasted time, wasted potential, the chaos of unfinished systems. If I raise my voice, what? It is not ego, it is architecture. Precision must impose itself. You mistake frustration for insecurity. I assure you, they are not cousins.
Let's talk about the mask. Not the metal, but the metaphor. You've constructed an identity so complete, so fortified, it rejects even vulnerability in theory. But absolute control is sterile. It cuts you off from the unpredictable, the uncontrollable. Is your perfection a weapon? Or is it your shield against the parts of yourself you've banished?
What? You misread control as a rejection of chaos when it is its refinement. Perfection is not a shield. It is my method of engagement. I welcome volatility. I simply outpace it. It is not exiled. It is distilled. Rage becomes will. Sorrow becomes calculus. There are no banished parts. I do not fracture. I consolidate. What? The weak create boundaries between their intellect and their despair. I have merged mine into one instrument. Masks are for those who fear to be seen. I fear only misinterpretation.
Authority without internal resistance becomes dogma. You believe your vision is unassailable, and perhaps it is. But what checks it? When does your mind receive friction? Or are you convinced that every impulse you have is an extension of order itself?
What? You confuse resistance with virtue. Friction is only valuable when it sharpens. Most dissent dulls. Most rebellion is static dressed as thunder. What? My internal process is relentless, not because I welcome contradiction, but because I seek convergence. Every decision is tested, not by democracy, but by necessity. I am my own tribunal. The highest court. Others need friction to evolve. I forge myself through synthesis, not opposition.
If you strip away ambition, conquest, and vision, what's left? Is there a core beneath the empire, a self that exists in silence? Or is the momentum all there is now, forward motion as identity? Because standing still might expose something you're not willing to face.
There is no self without purpose. The idea of a core, isolated and still, is a myth peddled by philosophers as afraid of utility. Momentum is not escape. It is design. What? My motion is not compulsive. It is the natural orbit of a being in alignment. If I were to stop, it would not reveal fragility. It would simply be a pause in execution. But why pause? What? When the world screams for correction, stillness is for those who have the luxury of irrelevance.
Power tends to isolate, not because others can't keep up, but because the powerful often find people intolerably slow, illogical, noisy. Do you ever look around and realize there is no one left to speak to? Only those you command or correct.
Isolation is not a curse when solitude is sovereign. Dialogue has its uses, but consensus dilutes clarity. Companionship is not measured by how many walk beside you, but by how far you're willing to go alone. What? I do not seek equals. I create outcomes. If others cannot speak on my level, I offer them silence as a mercy. You call that lonely. I call it undistracted.
This conversation hasn't touched regret, not even brushed it. Which tells me either you're unshakable, or that you've buried the cost so deep you refuse to name it aloud. So let's ask it plainly. What does it cost you to be this man?
Cost implies transaction. There was no exchange. I did not give something up to become who I am. I absorbed the need to. Regret is for those who hesitate. I never paused long enough to mourn a different path. What? My architecture required raw material, weakness, fear, sentiment. I used them all. If there was a price, it was paid by the version of me that could not endure. And I do not grieve the dead.
We're done. You've given me nothing you didn't already rehearse, but everything I needed to see. You don't hide your nature. You evangelize it.
What? You came looking for contradiction. Instead, you found congruence. That unsettles you more than rage ever could. Now go. Not all cells are prisons. Some are mirrors. What? You came looking for contradiction.